Hello crafty people and welcome back to the channel. Today I've been making some sun catchers and I thought you might like to join me, see the ones that I've made so far and follow along with the next couple that I plan to make. So this is the sun catcher kit that I've bought. I've laid out on the table here many of the components that are in the kit. So let me talk you through it before we begin with any construction. Over here at the bottom I have the little hooks. There are 20 hooks provided in the kit, so in theory you could prepare 20 different sun catchers from the components that we've got. I've chosen to make around 9 or 10 today, but depending on how chunky you want them to be or how delicate, how many components per sun catcher, you could make up to 20. As well as the hooks, we have a pack here of these small gold jump rings. Conveniently, they're all open, so they're ready for us to use. Then we have some larger jump rings. These are a bit like key ring ones where they slightly overlap. So we've got a selection of those as well. Then we have chain. Got a bag here of nice gold chain, and these all come in convenient lengths so that they're easy for us to use. And then of course we have all of the other components. There are things like circles, squares, moons, stars, leaves, all these kind of things that we have to work with, some more bold, some smaller. And I thought it would be easier if I laid them all out and planned how I wanted my sun catchers to be before I started. But the good thing is, even if I did make everything up and then it didn't quite look right, all I have to do is just undo a jump ring and move one component from one sun catcher to the other, and you can easily mix and match them, either to change them during construction, or maybe you've had one hung up for a month and you want to change it, open a jump ring, hang up something else, and you have a completely new sun catcher. So these are the ones that I've made so far. They're a little bit of a mix. This one here, for example, very long, thin, delicate, just made with smaller components and longer pieces of chain between each one. This one is much chunkier. It doesn't have the chain between all of the pieces like these more slender ones. There's a little bit of chain at the top, some chain at the bottom, but all of these individual components are attached just with jump rings, so it gives it more of a shorter, bolder kind of look. So having looked at all of the pieces and how we can put them together, I thought we would assemble one together. I've decided to do this one here, and I'm going to do it with less chain. So I'm going to do it more like this example where the pieces are put together individually. We're going to start at the top, however, because we may as well start there. So I'm taking one of my hooks and I've already attached a little jump ring to it. So now we are just going to attach the chain to the jump ring. There, and close it. Let's get my pliers over. And that's it. That's our first step completed. So now we have our hook at the top, our bit of chain, and then we have a little jump ring at the bottom. And I'm going to attach that directly to this, this crystal here. So if I open the jump ring, obviously this is a little bit fiddly, so hopefully the camera will be able to keep up and focus, but even if it's a little bit out of focus, I'm sure you get the idea of how it works. I'm just going to open the jump ring nice and wide, slip the crystal on one side. Oops, it got away from me there. And then we just close the jump ring back up again. And there we are. Easy as that, it's now attached. So now I want to attach this crystal onto this metallic element. So again, I pick up one of our jump rings. It's already open because that's how they come by default. But to attach to the crystals, you do need to open it quite wide. So I'm going to open it just a little more. Attach the crystal onto the jump ring. And then we also want to attach it to this next metallic element. So let me pick that up, slide that onto the jump ring as well, And now we will just close it up, squeeze it with the pliers to make sure it's nice and tight. And now we have this part attached. And now we do exactly the same again. So we have our next crystal element. We want to attach it here. So pick up another jump ring, because we are attaching to those the crystals, and it needs to be open quite wide. Just going to open it a little more. And it doesn't matter which one I put on first. I can either put the crystal on or I can put the metallic piece. It really doesn't matter. The only thing I would say is that the crystals are clear on one side, and on the other side they have like the AB coating. So I want to make sure, if I can, that the crystals are both going the same way. So I'm going to make sure I orient the metal the correct way. Close the jump ring, pull it in nice and tight, and there we are, they're now attached. And so I'm just going to carry on going with these jump rings and attach all of the elements together. Now, if we wanted to make them a little further apart, like we've got in this example here or here, then I can make up some little chain pieces. Here's one I've already made, and here I've just attached, for example, around 6 links of chain with a little jump ring on either end, and I could attach the this element now between the crystal and the metallic piece. As it is, I'm doing a more chunky one, so I'm just going to use the jump rings without the chain between these two elements. So if I can pick one up, there we go. Oh, silly little things. And again, because I'm attaching to a crystal, I need to open the jump ring nice and wide. Here we go. And now I'm attaching it onto the metal part. And again, it doesn't matter which way up this is. I can just pop it on there like this. Close the jump ring. Give it a little squeeze with the pliers to make sure everything's in there tight. And then this element is now attached. So I'm going to now attach jump rings between here and here, then this crystal down to the little metallic star, and then at the bottom I'm going to attach a little bit of chain down to this main drop. And as easy as that, my new suncatcher is now completed. And there are all the elements attached together, just with jump rings in this case, with a small piece of chain just for the top for the hook, and just to give the feature drop there a little bit more space at the bottom. So it really is as easy as that to put all of these things together, and you can have an awful lot of fun with this kit. Once they're completed, they're really nice to obviously hang in your windows or on your patio, or to give them as gifts. Pop them in a little one of those organza gift bags or something, and I think they'd be really nice to give to a girlfriend for a birthday gift or just as a thank you. And of course, if you get to this stage and you decide, you know, that's not really quite right, I could do with a little bit more space, then it's easy to just open the jump rings, add in a little bit of chain between all of them, and, you know, mix and match and do whatever feels right to you. I think I'm going to go ahead and make up this one, and then we'll have a look at them finished. That's another one completed, and I really like the way that I've added a little bit of extra chain just here so that I can hang this dangle within the middle of this circle. It looks cute that way. It's nice to have things that are free hanging and don't necessarily form part of a complete chain. And then on this set here, I think I'm going to do something a bit different and just try and attach them all with these large jump rings. I can see that I think I'm going to have to give it some thought to make sure that things hang correctly, but let's start from the top and see how that works out. Okay, so far so good, because I've got my hook, I've got a long chain to start with, and then I've got the square hanging with the free hanging component in the center. Now I need to hang something off the bottom, which is going to hang this one. So I think again we can go with another of the large jump rings. And those two can attach directly. I don't think we need any adjustment here. So let's get this one on. And then the square, which direction? This way, we will see. I want to make sure that the crystals are hanging both in the same direction. Have I got it right? No, the bottom one is on back to front, but that's easy, the same as with all of these things, easy to adjust. We undo our jump ring, and then we can move things about as we need to. Let's move the crystal, see, and that's closest to the end. Now I think for this joint here, I need to add an extra ring, because I need to hang off of here onto the square, and then I need the drop to hang within the square itself. So that looks like it needs 2 rings to me. Let's see how it works out. We'll add the crystal on first. Okay, then let's add the square. Yes, that's right. And then this circle from the drop hangs off of that circle, not off of the square. Okay. There's a little bit of engineering. You do have to think about the setup just a little bit, but like I say, it's very easy to change. So if you put something together and it doesn't look right, open the jump ring, start again, and do it slightly differently. Okay, now I have it. Let's lay them out again. I have my crystal, my next crystal, my square, this one here, and then I could attach it straight to the square so the whole thing has no chain. How do I think that would look? Let's give it a try. Well, that works. That's really quite cute, actually. Without any chain at all, it gives a completely different look. And with the large jump rings and the large open squares, it gives a very different look to some of the others. And I like it. But of course, if I didn't like it, I can always easily open them up and make changes. So let's lay this one down. I hope these ways that I'm putting the components here together are giving you some ideas that if you were to make your own sun catchers, that you can pick up on some of the different ways that I've attached them, and it gives you a little bit of inspiration. And on this final one, I've left all of these little dangles here dangling independently because I love the way that they shimmer and catch the light when they're free to move around instead of being fixed, for example, in this kind of arrangement. So that's all of my 9 sun catchers completed. I hope you found some of these ways that I've put them together interesting and it's inspirational should you go on to give it a try yourself. The link for the kit and similar ones like it are in the video description, and I do have some bits and pieces left over. I've got a large number of these hooks, I've got a lot of chain and a lot of both sets of the jump rings. So although I've used all of the metal and acrylic components, if I had something nice like beads, for example, you could go ahead and use the leftover bits to make up some extra sun catchers with beads, or maybe use them to create a wind chime or something like that. Thank you very much for watching. I'm now going to try and take some photographs of these completed, and if they turn out any good, I will attach them onto the end of the video.